Actors such as Don Cheadle and Idris Elba have said, maybe we don't need an Oscar. Do you think that the Oscar nomination, or an Oscar win even, has any direct correlation to success in this industry?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's great to be acknowledged, but the validation is unnecessary. I completely agree with them. Okay. Also, Leonardo DiCaprio has never won an Oscar. Is he complaining about his career? I don't think so.
He's definitely not.
Tom Cruise. There are so many successful actors. Will Smith has been nominated, but even as well, you know what I'm saying? They are so successful. The Oscar is not important, and I think that. But I also don't think that there's anything wrong with anybody who feels that they need to be included and appreciated for the hard work that they put into their craft. So I have a double perspective on it.
I feel like people that are really into their craft, like Leonardo DiCaprio, he's very into his craft. Absolutely. Like you hear what his interviews, how he does to prep for films, and how he immerses himself in roles. I don't think he necessarily needs a validation. I think he's just so committed to his craft. He just wants to make good movies, good films, and he doesn't. And that's why he's continued to be a huge body in the industry without any of these awards. And he even says he doesn't care about this stuff. Like the fact that we've been talking about him, like he's probably going to win this year, I don't think it phases him at all. I just think he just wants to make good films, and I think that's why he's as good and he's still relevant in this industry.
And there's something to take from that for like all talents and stuff. Because if you think about it, it's like, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this for these few people, members, you know what I'm saying, of this academy to get validation and get their acceptance, or are you doing it for the world? Are you trying to, you know what I mean?
Like trying to touch, move, and inspire people.
But I think there's something to be said about the fact that this space so excludes people of color that it's inappropriate.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Whether or not it correlates to success is a different matter.
I mean, obviously not. Somebody mentioned Monique. She got an award for Precious, and she's back to doing small indie films. So obviously, and then we see people like Lupita, who she got the award 2 years ago, and now she's doing bigger films. But it doesn't really. Those are they went very different directions. They both are Best Supporting Actress winners. So obviously, we see that awards don't do anything. There's no direct correlation to that. So.
Now, is that? Because then I like to turn that. Then we go to Jennifer Lawrence, who's won an award, and it welcomes so much more opportunity for her.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like give or take. It's like on the one hand you have these examples, but then we have other people who we've seen it take them.
I think it's debatable how she gets her awards, honestly.
That she's the safe choice.
Yeah, she's.
Or the impressive for her age.
I think they just want her to give a speech because, or either trip up the stairs or something. They want her to make some type of. It's like
she's America's new sweetheart.
Is she?
She's relatable.
But that also speaks to then why are we not getting those nominated?
Yeah.
Exactly. Not relatable.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to use the Academy as sort of like a thermometer of the industry, I think that also speaks to the kinds of opportunities and why we're being kept out of those meetings, those, I'm going to introduce you to this person and I'm going to match you up with this director. Those meetings aren't happening for us.
Yes.
I think you're right. What you said, somebody like Jennifer Lawrence is a safe choice. She's, the typical blonde hair, tall, beautiful person that you see on, billboards, magazines, on the screen. So I think we're having a problem with getting out of that phase of this is who we see American beauty, and looking at other perspectives of what beauty is in America.
And that's happening across all different industries.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I think that it's a double-edged sword. So we would like to think that when you have the words Oscar winner or Oscar nominee before your name, that it means that perhaps it's easier for you to take a meeting. Maybe your next film will come with a bigger salary or bigger check, and it's easier for you to move sort of within the space. But I don't know that we're seeing that. I mean, if you think about the most recent, for example, Halle Berry in Monsters Ball, we would have hoped to see her career take off after winning the Academy Award, and it has not. Same with Cuba Gooding Jr. How long has it been? And he's playing OJ on a TV movie. Great movie, great series, but it's not necessarily what we would have expected after having won such a prestigious award. At the same time, for better or worse, and we can debate whether it should be this way, the Oscars are still considered the pinnacle of the film industry. And so that means, regardless of whether you work at a fast food restaurant or you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 corporation, you still want to be recognized, not validated, but recognized for your achievements. That's why I think the academies exist, the Academy Awards exist, but there are still some overlying issues with respect to the types of roles that are awarded. So if you look at someone like Hattie McDaniel, way back in the day, she, won the Academy Award, but then she went on to play the help, a subservient person for decades after that. And if we're talking specifically about Black actors and actresses, the roles that they have won the Academy Award for have all been less than a complete introspection into the beauty and the diversity and the complexity of who we are as a people, to be very polite. So, Whoopi Goldberg won for playing a kooky psychic, right? And, we have wins in The Help because they were subservient. And so, and Lupita Nyong'o won, but she won playing an enslaved woman. And so those are the issues that I think we need to address as well.
Absolutely. And you make a very valid point. We do have to look at the past wins and the type of roles that they have been. And it's interesting. It's a trend. To say the least, it's an interesting trend. Okay, so the Oscars are coming up. Where will you ladies be? Are we going to tune in and see what Reggie Hudlin and Chris Rock have planned for us? Or are we boycotting it? Or I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
I actually have to work it, so I'll be there.
I'm definitely going to watch to see what Chris Rock has to say.
Absolutely.
The opening segment, at least.
Yeah, I think I might also have to work it, but I'm so curious to see what's going to be said, how they're going to address it, because it's going to be on everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'll be watching in support just to see what everybody's going to say.
So. And April, will you be watching?
Oh, absolutely not. No, and we didn't watch last year, so we will be engaged in counter programming as we did last year. On Twitter, we live tweeted "Coming to America" during the Oscars telecast. Oscar So White was trending during the Academy Awards last year, and we know that perhaps due to conversations emanating from the Oscar So White hashtag and our live tweeting, the Academy experienced its lowest ratings in the past 6 years. So we do have something very interesting planned on an even bigger scale this year than we did last year. But, I'm not using the word boycott because I think, I'm not going to be out in LA with my sign saying, don't go down the red carpet or what have you. But instead, what we're saying is, if you are as concerned and frustrated with the lack of inclusion of marginalized communities, do not reward the Academy with your ratings by watching that night. And be very mindful when you go to the movie theater and spend your hard-earned dollar to watch films that do not represent you on the screen.
Our buying power is very strong.
It definitely is. And I'll say this, I don't even remember if I watched the Academy Awards in the last couple of years. I usually find out who won online. And
that's what I was going to say. And watch Breakpoint, and I just think we're watching the opening segment online.
Yeah. I will be watching to see what Chris has to say, given he did a op-ed piece, I believe, in the Hollywood Reporter about race in this industry. And I know that he's not going to not speak on what is occurring. Yes. So, yeah.